My biggest tip is never to make an assumption that someone knows the meaning of something. For example, a sieve, that they've seen one before, that they've heard of one before, and that they know what they're used for. In the catering area, there's new terminology for learners, and the first thing I will do is we will do keywords for every module and every unit of every module. So for example, if it is food safety, we would start off with the keywords like bacteria, contamination, anything that the learner won't know before. So before they start the module, they're going to get familiar with the terminology used. I use flashcards a lot, and it's more to get them to remember how stuff is spelt, as well as to understand the meaning of each word. So for example, before I even start that, I use flashcards for the definitions of something. So say for example, they're asked to describe, define, demonstrate, understand, illustrate. They need to understand what those words are first. So what we would do is I would use a flashcard with the definition, and they match them up first before we even attempt to start what the module is asking them to do. I would maybe do an icebreaker, but it would be a literacy friendly icebreaker. So it could be counting how many sieves are in the bucket, or what colour chopping boards, how many. We might bring in a bit of multiplication for recipes. So instead of making one batch of scones, we might make a double batch. After that then, I would have a workbook, but I find bringing it into the kitchen and actually getting them to do the exercises rather than sitting down in the canteen or the work area, they don't feel like they're doing writing all the time. We use exercises like word searches, word quizzes, unscrambling the words, matching, and then with all pieces of equipment, I would have a picture. I would also have the spelling of the word so they can visually see it. So I would use visual aids. In relation to numeracy then, I keep a flip chart in the room, and every time we do a maths to do with the kitchen, it goes up. And at the end of the day, we use a mind map to summarise the mathematics and numeracy that we've learned. So in the catering area, there is a lot of numeracy integrated into the lessons. So when I start the class on baking, I would use flashcards first for them to recognise the different foods we're going to use. For example, the 6 varieties of flour. I may then put in a numeracy exercise into a recipe. So in catering, you might want to double the mix, you might want to triple the mix. But because this is a fortress centre place, they have to come up with the 40 portions of stuff. And that's where they're really using their numeracy skills.